Application of solubility chart. In the previous video we studied the solubility chart, which helped us to understand precipitation reaction. Now let us understand the application of solubility chart. The knowledge of soluble and insoluble compounds helps in the following ways. So in the preparation of insoluble salts and bases, so for example here, if we want to prepare lead 2 chloride, PbCl2 if we want to prepare, which is insoluble salt, so what we have to understand is how to prepare this. So with the help of solubility chart, if we take here lead nitrate, all nitrates are soluble, so lead nitrate when reacts with sodium chloride, all compounds of sodium, potassium, ammonium are soluble. So here lead chloride insoluble and the byproduct will be sodium nitrate. Now nitrate is 2 times, so put 2 over here, sodium is 2 times. So we are getting over here chalky white precipitate of lead chloride. Chalky white precipitate. Precipitate is an insoluble substance, or you can say a solid. So here this is soluble, soluble. So soluble plus soluble gives you insoluble plus soluble. This is insoluble plus this one is soluble. So in the preparation of insoluble salt, solubility chart is useful. Now if we want to prepare calcium carbonate, which is also insoluble, so we have to start with, say, calcium soluble compound when reacts with, or any compound of sodium, potassium and ammonium you can take. So one compound of sodium, potassium and ammonium if you take, it will be easy for you to prepare insoluble salt. So this is 2, this is 2, this is 2. Now this is also white precipitate of calcium carbonate we are getting. Suppose we want to prepare, say, barium sulfate, which is also insoluble. So if you want to prepare barium sulfate, we take barium chloride, which is soluble. All chlorides are soluble except SML, I explained you. You can take acid also over here. So here you are getting HCl. Again white precipitate of barium sulfate we are getting. So this is one of the applications that insoluble salt preparation, the solubility chart is helpful. Now in the preparation of soluble salt, see, insoluble salt is by precipitation reaction and this is by neutralization reaction. So here again we have already studied base plus acid, salt plus water. So if we take any base NaOH, when reacts with acid HCl, any acid, we get corresponding salt plus water. So what is the rule here? Base plus acid, salt plus water. So you will get corresponding salt and water. This is neutralization reaction, and in neutralization reaction always we get soluble salts. Now what is the application of neutralization reaction if we say? See, when someone is stung by a bee, formic acid enters one's skin and gives pain, which can be relieved by rubbing the spot with slake lime or baking soda, both of which are bases, right? So one base and one acid when reacts, you get salt plus water. So slake lime is calcium hydroxide if we take here, and B, or you can say here B leaves formic acid, and this is the formula of formic acid. So when this reacts, we get corresponding salt plus water. So here you will get calcium formate. Calcium is 2, valency formate is 1, plus you get water. See, this reaction is just an example of neutralization reaction, right? So here when ant bites, it leaves formic acid in the skin and if it is rubbed by slake lime, this is slake lime, then it neutralizes the effect of acid and salt is formed. Next is any example, all metal oxides and all metal hydroxides are base. We can take any metal oxide or any metal hydroxide, and if you know the valency, you can form the salt, formula of the salt, and you know the rule. So base plus acid, salt plus water, you can easily write the reactions. So this is base, acid gives salt plus water. Next is in the detection of negative radicals, that is anion present in the compound. If you want to detect the negative radical, so for example here, if we take potassium chloride, this is the detection of chloride, potassium chloride and silver nitrate. If we are taking, it gives us interchange and we get insoluble, so AgCl insoluble plus potassium nitrate. Again the rule is soluble plus soluble gives insoluble, so this is aqueous, this is also aqueous, gives you PPT precipitate, and this is aqueous, right? So here non-metallic radicals or anions like this chloride or sulfate are identified by precipitating the chloride with silver nitrate or by precipitating the sulfate with barium chloride. So another example of barium chloride we will take. Barium chloride when reacts with sodium sulfate, again both the reactants must be in aqueous state, we get barium sulfate and sodium chloride. So again these are two, so put 2 here, balance reaction, this is white PPT, both are white precipitate, white PPT of barium sulfate, here also Cuddy white precipitate of silver chloride you are getting. And these are the detection of chloride, this is the detection of chloride ion, and this is the detection of sulfate ion. Right, so by this method also we can detect negative radicals. Now next is in the detection of positive radicals, that is cations, right? So how to detect cations in a given compound? So sodium hydroxide is generally used to detect metallic radicals, like we can say calcium, copper, ferrous, ferric, zinc, lead, ammonium radical, all this. So sodium hydroxide when we add in little amount until in excess to the salt solution taken in the test tube, in this case we will see this different color precipitate we get, which help us to identify the cation. Now the reaction shown here, which we will be taking here now, that is a precipitation reaction. So we have already studied precipitation reaction. Let us take an example here. Ferrous chloride, aqueous solution of ferrous chloride, when reacts with NaOH, we are getting ferrous hydroxide, a dirty green precipitate we will be getting, dirty green precipitate of ferrous hydroxide along with NaCl we are getting. Now see, this is dirty green precipitate. So why are we using NaOH as a laboratory reagent to detect cations? Because this imparts a colored precipitate, and due to which we come to know okay, this substance is having ferrous as cation. Because when we get dirty green precipitate, it is confirmed that this is ferrous. So the salt has ferrous in it, right? So here Fe2+. Then next is, if we take ferric chloride, yellowish brown color substance, and add NaOH, we get ferric hydroxide, reddish brown precipitate, and NaCl. So again we are getting here ferric as cation. If we take here copper sulfate, this is reddish brown precipitate we are getting, reddish brown PPT. copper sulfate, when we add NaOH to it, we get cupric hydroxide, pale blue precipitate, along with sodium sulfate as byproduct. So here sodium sulfate, this is pale blue precipitate you are getting of cupric hydroxide. Then we have, say, zinc chloride, zinc sulfate, any soluble, all these are soluble plus soluble gives insoluble plus soluble. So zinc chloride, when it reacts with NaOH solution, we get zinc hydroxide, it is gelatinous white precipitate, along with NaCl we are getting. This is gelatinous white PPT. If we take here lead nitrate or any other substance, say calcium chloride, when reacts with NaOH, we get calcium hydroxide, milky white precipitate, along with NaCl. So this is milky white precipitate. And if we take lead nitrate, we can't take lead chloride because lead chloride itself is insoluble. So lead nitrate is only compounds of lead which is soluble. So lead hydroxide is formed along with sodium nitrate. This is chalky white precipitate formed. So on the basis of this colored precipitate, we can detect cations, and the cations which we have detected from this reaction is ferrous. This dirty green precipitate confirms that ferrous is present in the salt solution. Here ferric is present in the salt solution, cupric is present. So these are the detection of these cations. Here zinc, gelatinous white precipitate, then calcium, milky white precipitate, and here lead, chalky white precipitate. So by this we can detect cations. Now the next one is, we can also detect ammonium compounds by this. Alkali liberate ammonia when reacted with ammonium salts. This alkali liberates ammonia when reacted with ammonium salts. So for this, here ammonium chloride, ammonium salt, so we are taking, let us take ammonium chloride, and any alkali we can take, NaOH, KOH, calcium hydroxide. So when these two are reacting, we get sodium chloride, ammonia and water. So ammonia gas is liberated, and the test of ammonia gas is when a rod dipped in concentrated HCl brought near ammonia gas, dense white fumes of ammonium chloride are seen. See here, this reaction is already balanced. And what is the test of ammonia? When a rod dipped in concentrated HCl is brought near ammonia, dense white fumes of ammonium chloride are seen. Dense white fumes of ammonium chloride are seen. Here ammonia plus HCl gives you ammonium chloride, dense white fumes of ammonium chloride. Thank you, students.